Welcome. I've been counseling couples for a long time now, and I've discovered there are two main reasons why marriages fail. And no, it's not because of incompatibility or we've just fallen out of love. That's not the two reasons. I'm Carrie Decker, a pastor and life coach, and we're going to be focusing on those two main reasons why marriages fail in this episode of 4 Habits to Transform Your Marriage. We'll be right back. So what are these two main reasons why marriages fail? Well, I have a little presentation here I'd like to walk you through that answers that question. And so let's take a look at it. Why do some couples make it and others don't? Well, that's the big question that we're seeking to answer in this session. And there are two main reasons why relationships fail. One main reason that relationships fail is because of mismanaged disappointments. Disappointments are going to come to every relationship. Sometimes through unwanted circumstances, other times through offense. But it doesn't matter how disappointments come into our relationship. What matters is how we manage those. And couples who manage their disappointments well will find the road to relational health and a love that lasts. But couples who mismanage their disappointments are going to end up on that road to heartbreak, and they'll end up either with a sideways relationship or their marriage will fail altogether. And so this is what we're talking about when we're talking about the 4 habits to transform your marriage. And one thing you have to do if you're going to transform your marriage is to reframe your thinking about marriage and learn to think about a marriage in a healthier way. Learn to understand what contributes to marriage failure. And so couples who find a love that lasts, whenever they face a disappointment, a hurt, or an unexpected difficult circumstance, an offense in their relationship, is that they'll take the road of response. And the road of response takes you down that path to a love that lasts, and it brings you to the place of having a healthy relationship. But it's not the only road that you can take when you're disappointed. The other road that you can take is the road of reaction. And these two roads will take you in completely different directions in your marriage. One will take you to the place of having a healthy relationship, and the other will take you to the place of heartbreak, a sideways relationship, or even a complete marriage breakdown. And so there are certain contributing factors to a breakdown in a relationship, and we want to look at those. One is focusing on blame. That's the second habit that we need to consider when it comes to transforming our marriages, and that simply means that we have to end the blame game. Blame is a luxury you just can't afford in your relationship. Now, that's not to say you overlook who's at fault, but what it does is that instead of spending your energy and spinning your wheels on who's at fault for whatever problem comes up in the relationship, instead you focus on a productive and healthy way to resolve that problem. Blame won't take you there. What blame actually does is that it promotes negative communication in your relationship. And as long as you're stuck in negative communication patterns and exercising negative communication habits, you're never going to find your way to a love that lasts. And when we get stuck in negative communication patterns, we end up stuck in the cycle of dysfunction. And that really brings us to our third habit that we have to consider if we're going to transform our marriages. And that's simply, we must reject reactivity. Reactivity is what the cycle of dysfunction is all about. And that brings us to our second main reason why relationships fail. Relationships fail because you're not solving for X. And so that brings us to our fourth habit on how to transform your marriage is learn how to solve for X. Let me explain a little bit about what solving for X is all about. When we're stuck in this cycle of dysfunction, there's two sides to this cycle. There's the A side and the X side. The A side is what your partner does to hurt or offend you. As a result of their hurt that they've caused in the relationship, you react. And when you react, they react to your reaction, and the cycle just goes round and round and round. And it's a merry-go-round that's anything but merry. And so negative communication and reactivity is what keeps this cycle going. And so the only way to end the cycle of dysfunction is to solve for X. In other words, you got to figure out from your side of the relationship how to stop that reactivity. Now, solving for X just simply means this. Everything changes when you change. And what it is, it's the power of one. You possess that power. You see, so many couples, when they are stuck in a difficult place in their relationship, feel powerless. And that's because they're stuck in blame and they're waiting for their partner to change. But instead of waiting for their partner to change, they can take control of their lives and they can take control of that relationship by solving for X. You can change your relationship for the better by learning and practicing healthy habits in that relationship. Personal health is the starting point of relational health. Now, the fact of the matter is that sometimes you travel alone. It would be great if your spouse was your traveling companion on this journey to relational health, but sometimes that's simply not the case. But that doesn't mean that this journey is a waste of time. Think about it. Your only other option is for you to remain unhealthy because your partner is unhealthy, and that's simply a defeated way to live. Instead, the best thing to do is to resolve that you're going to travel that path to health, even if you have to travel it alone. And I guarantee you, your relationship will change when you decide to get healthy yourself. And so, in order to find a love that lasts, in order to find a healthy relationship, there are certain key things that you must do. Whenever you're confronted with a disappointment in your relationship, you need to learn to manage it well. And what that means is that you have to attend to your broken heart and your disappointment. And the way that you do that is through grief and forgiveness. And that's completely possible in any and every situation. Secondly, is that if you're going to take this journey to relational health, is that you have to learn how to communicate in a positive way with your partner. Now, that doesn't mean that you ignore problems. What it means is that you communicate about those problems in an effective way that leads to resolution. Another key milestone on this road to a healthy relationship on this road to a love that lasts is power listening. Power listening is a remarkable tool to diffuse reactivity in your relationship. Another milestone on the way to relational health is learning when and how to set effective boundaries. Boundaries are not about punishing your partner. They're all about protecting your health and the health of the relationship. And they are a way to invite your partner into that process. And so, on this journey to a love that lasts, on this journey to healthy relationships, what you do is that you learn how to incorporate other building blocks that are going to build a love that lasts. And so every relationship is going to travel one of two roads. You're either going to be on that road of responding when you've experienced a hurt in your relationship, whether it be an offense or something that comes from a difficult circumstance. You're either going to practice responding to that hurt, or you're going to be reacting to it. And when you react to it, you'll go down that path of blame, negative communication, and the cycle of dysfunction. The only way to exit from this highway to heartbreak is to solve for X. And so there are two main reasons why marriages fail. One is mismanaged disappointments, and the second is the failure to solve for X. Now, let me just say that I've created an intensive online course where we go into detail about both of these paths, the route to reactivity and the way of response. And you can check that out at sidewaysrelationships.com if you want to. Here's what I believe. I believe that there is always a healthy way to solve any relationship problem, no matter how difficult it might be. And I believe that when you seek that healthy way to solve your relationship problems, at least one of two things is going to happen. And number one is that you may discover that your relationship becomes healthier itself. But if that's not the case, then number two is that you'll find the way to be a healthier person yourself, and that's always worth the investment. Hey, there's plenty of great content that's coming your way in our 4 Habits to Transform Your Marriage online summit. So stay tuned. We'll see you later.